to say, can't hold it in this time. Got no filter, I got no filter. 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 No filter, I got no filter.
Hey guys, so we have an official sponsor of the Paramotor Hangout. It's Uncle Steve's Shake. If you've ever had my cooking and you liked it, it's because of the seasonings I use from Uncle Steve's Shake. If you make an order and use the Paramotor Hangout in the order comment, you may just receive something extra thanks to Uncle Steve's Shake. Now, let's get on with the show.
Hey, welcome to, officially the last scheduled weekly program called Paramotor Hangout on Tuesday night. We may end up, after we do a fly-in or two, come back and do a show after that, talk about it. But right now, this is the last one, and I'm kind of excited about it. We're going to end out doing this show after... I don't even know how long we've been doing this. I don't keep track of numbers. I started and then I quit because it didn't really matter to me. But anyways, I'm one of the hosts, Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane, with the other host on here. And we're going to talk to, I'm going to ask Will. Will, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good, just keeping up with the chat. And we got quite a few people in here. We're burning it up. I will say, yeah, this is the last Paramotor Hangout episode, but something tells me, Shane, you're going to miss it.
Oh, God, I wish I was. Yes. Okay, so first, I'm going to answer that question in a second. Mr. Mark McElroy, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be home. How about you guys?
I am. I spent most of the day in bed today. I just didn't want to leave.
Hey, Mark, if you can go ahead and block him from the show, because I don't want to hear about a guy that's gone to work the last 2 days. So, as for missing the show, I think there's part of me going to miss it, but I need to have more time. This is the third fly-in, and I haven't done the first fly-in that I'm behind on. So having time to do the videos, and not that they're going to be Will Fly quality, they're going to continue to be Skinny Chef Shane's quality videos, but I would like to have more time to do it. And the cooking videos, we did those 5 pork butts at the fly-in, and I didn't videotape or take a picture of one of those, and I think I should have, because I think those pork butts came out phenomenal. Anyways, I do want to say to Mark, guess who we hung out with this weekend and did not realize who he was in the chat?
I have no idea.
Okay, so you know Batman that's in the chat? Okay, he was there. Mark, are you ready? He was the guy that took off just fine and had trouble landing. I don't want to say his name in case he doesn't want to be told.
Well, okay. I don't know who it is.
He was camping right over there by the lake during the fly-in. But anyways, what's that?
By himself, kind of?
Yes.
Oh, no, I still don't know who it is. Actually,
well, you sold me for a second to think you did.
Well, because I thought I did, but no, I'm thinking of someone else.
All right, so let's get into just how much effort, which I had no idea, of what it takes to put a fly-in on. So Hardy Lakes county employees went above and beyond. The manager of the park, we started this back in January, and for it to happen in June is phenomenal because you know government entities do not work very fast. They do not move very fast, and for this to all happen in the short time that it did was absolutely on the hard work of the park manager. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants me to. So, anyways, um, there was a phone calls, there's emails, there's all kind of stuff that goes on. That was time consuming and took some effort, but nothing took more effort than getting there Saturday before the fly-in to go through the park, go through the LZ, and fill in any kind of holes that we could find. Keith, Cat, Mark, I believe PPG, the other Nick, myself. Who else was out there?
Waller.
Out there.
Oh, Waller. I'm sorry. Yes, Waller. I'm. If I forget somebody, don't take it personally. My brain still
Paramotor
has.
NC.
What's that?
Ben, Paramotor NC.
No, he didn't. He didn't show up until after. But I mean, we walked this entire field and put stakes in where we found potholes or armadillo holes or whatever you want to call it, and we we filled in the holes and made try to make it as safe as possible. In this heat, it was crazy hot. And then the day before the show, or the day before the event, we made a flight line, and that took a good bit of time. We went through the park and put flagging ribbon or flagging tape and stakes underneath the power lines to kind of give everyone an idea that there's power lines in these fields. It was just a lot of prep work, and it just took everyone that was there to give a helping hand. And it was Tony and Angela showed up on Thursday. They actually flew in from Vegas, and great people. Honestly, they Angela is a long tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs, scared of everything. And Tony did try to hit me with a chair. Thought the jug of Dawn dish soap was I don't know, armadillo. Picked up a chair and he was going to try to hit the armadillo out of my hand, but it was just some Dawn dish soap. I don't know. Anyways, long story short, we had a lot of work put in before the fly-in. My wife, who does not get up early for nothing, got up at 6 a.m. every single morning before the sun come up, sat out there under a shade or under a Insta shade in the heat, in the dust, and sat out there all day long until nighttime, every single day, taking the donations in for the donations, the raffles, and the pilot's fee. And I don't know how she's still going right now. I mean, I said any chance I got, I'd go over and sit with her along with everyone else, and it was just stifling hot over there. Oh, she's a trooper, that's for sure. Anyways, so what was your guys' opinion on the fly-in? I mean, you liked it, didn't like it? What we can improve on, not do again?
Who are you asking?
The panel.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, I guess I can ask the people in the chat, the ones that were there, what we think you could do better next time, or what you liked or didn't like.
You could let your wife hang out in the air conditioner for 3 days instead of in the heat. That would be good.
Well, that
it went
is,
really well.
yeah. I actually think for a first event, I think we did extraordinarily well. It takes a god awful lot of energy. I was just telling the guys before we, I was telling the guys before the show that I don't even know where I was going with that. I read Brian's comment. Yeah. I never realized just how much energy it took. And today, when I came home after work, I texted Kristen and said, "Hey, wake me up when you get home. I'm taking a nap," which I never do. And I mean, we've been going to bed at 9 a.m. since we got our 9 p.m. since we got home Sunday night. So Sunday night and Monday night, 9 p.m. And I still can't get enough sleep. I'm so exhausted from all this. It was crazy. Um, so let's talk about opening morning, Thursday morning. Um, the very first person to show up was Ripman Riding, and I took him. He signed up. We went out back. I showed him. I think what my favorite part of the park was, or the LZ, and he parked under one of the biggest shade trees that we have out there, and he was thankful for that. I do believe. And then they just started coming in after that, and it was pretty awesome. The type of event that we had, a lot of people showed up, and it was absolutely amazing. Before I forget, I want to thank Florida Flight Sports, which is Rick Davies, PPG Gorilla, for donating his the e-bike that he did, and then Just Us e-bikes for donating their bike. And I want to say that Just Us e-bikes is very mean to me because he gave me a great deal on a new bike, or I should say a new used bike. It had like 40 miles on it, and he gave me a great deal on it. And I am now a proud owner of a very expensive e-bike that I never in my life thought I'd ever have. So I am blessed and thankful for everything that's happened at this fly-in. So Greg Laney was there. I man, I've met Greg Laney before at Bad Apples and stuff, but just a nice guy. I don't know why, Mr. Greg, that you did not push yourself back into the tree line and with that tent and get into the shade for during the day. Every time I drove by, I was like, "That's a no for me," because it was in the sun all day long. I don't know what you did, but um, for to stay cool. But good lord, that tent was in the sun all day long. So we did have a grand total of 49 pilots, which I want to say there was 50 because the money that I donated for a lot of stuff that we bought could have paid for another pilot's fee, which would have been me. But so does that count as 50? We counted it as 49, but it's 49. And we raised a total between pilot fees and the raffle for the bikes and the Uncle Steve Shake and the 3 mugs that Florida Flight Sports donated, coffee mugs. We raised a total altogether $5,600. And I could not be more happy, just and thankful. We actually never even counted a dime of this until we got home and everything in the camper was put away. And Krista handed me all the money, and it was just put in, ones, fives, tens, 20s, hundreds, blah, blah, blah. And I sat down and we counted it all out. She counted it, and we came up with a total. And then I posted it. I think it was $5,002. And then I remembered that anybody that used Zelle or PayPal, so we had to add that to the total, which came out to be just over, I think it was 65 or 56.85 is what the total was. And we're thrilled, absolutely thrilled. This will help cover some of the costs next year, and 2 $1,000 scholarships for next year's graduating class. So I'm super excited about it. Mark, I can tell you, Mark was on my hip the entire time and absolutely killed helping out. Anytime I needed something, if I was too already caught up in something, Mark, again, I thanked you before. I'll thank you again. It was just absolutely amazing. And a lot of people want to know your recipe about the beans and I told him you have to ask Mark because he's the man with it.
Uh, that is howtobarbecueright.com. Guy named Malcolm, but it's on YouTube. How to Barbecue Right, and that's just a guy that I used all his stuff before I started. Now switching over to
Uncle Steve's.
Uncle Steve Shake.
Oh yeah, I do want to thank Florida Flight Sports. Rick was nonstop. Anytime it was flyable, he had tandems going. That I don't know how many tandems he did total, but it was a bunch. It was from sun up to sundown. He was every time I turned around, he was taking someone out. So James, yes. Question: would you change the time of the year? So someone left me standing in front of a commissioner, and we were talking about the event, and she said that she would prefer it to be at a different time of the year. We're going to work on that. I get it. The ones that were in tents or even in campers, you still got to run your generator all stinking day long to keep the camper cool. I get it. But at the time, this is what we worked with and this is what we did. So I don't know. It may change. It may not. There's a lot of planning going on before next year. There's actually a lot of fighting or a lot of smoothing out some things before next year, I should say. Um, Good Lord, what do we? Let's see. So, in the chat for those who were there, how would you consider the LZ? Was it? It could be a little wider. I concur, but it is what it is. Um, but for I've watched a lot of trike guys take off. There are a couple areas that are a little rougher than others, but truthfully, I mean, this field is just a field. They just mow it. They don't. It was never planned to have trikes or foot launchers launching out of it. So for what it is, it's a pretty doggone good LZ. It's a lot better than the compound. I can tell you that much. You go out to the compound, who knows? You'll be running and triple over a uh, transmission that someone dropped off that, that just dumped. Yeah, I mean, there's no telling out there. So yeah, it was a freaking awesome event. The food. So we did a what we called a donation dinner. So if you wanted dinner, you gave a donation. It didn't matter what your donation was, how much it was, and we ended up having. Good Lord, I don't even know. Krista's not here. I could ask her. She has the number of how many people paid for a donation dinner. We had how many? 5 pork butts.
Yeah.
We smoked 5 pork butts. Which, by the way, I have never smoked that many pork butts at one time. And the oil or the fat renderings coming off of those pork butts into the catch pan was like a steady stream. Like someone turned the faucet on. I was like, holy good Lord. I've never get that out of just one. It doesn't really, it may drip every now and then, but this thing was steadily flowing. Mark and I had to remove the catch pan, and then Mark held some tinfoil under it so that it didn't drip on the floor or on the ground, and then I dumped it and then came back, and yeah, it worked out pretty good. What is this? We counted probably 10 fields. Um, the park did, and I want to apologize to Rick Davies too. I did not when I put up Just Us e-bikes in the on the Facebook page. I never added Gorilla's Flight Sport, and more than likely the county would have put Florida Flight Sports on the banner as well. So I apologize for that, Rick. That was my bad. There's so much going on. Mark, anything you want to add? We are definitely, if we get next year, we're definitely doing away with the front LZ that seemed to be confusing to some people, and we're just going to leave it out back. and there's going to be absolutely no flying next year over the park at any part. It's if you go north, the LZ's north of the park, and if you go north, east, and west of the park, there is just thousands upon thousands of acres of nothing. Just little dikes with the road on top of it, swamp, um, beautiful scenery. There's a couple gators back there, or a couple lakes back there. Plenty to go see and do. I did not know this. I've been flying out of this park for over 3 years, and I did not realize there's like 12 houses up front on the main road. So I will just brief over this real quick because I do not want to linger on this. Um, we had one particular person in one of those 12 houses that did not care for us flying over or near the house. And I agree with them. I 100% agree. There's so much property that it wouldn't bother anybody for us to be there. But for some reason, a few of us flew over even after being told. So with next year, if there's an option for next year, my goal is to, at registration, you show up, you sign your liability form, and then you're going to sign a rules kind of thing, and it's going to have a map, and it's going to show the park and where you're not allowed to fly. You sign it saying, yes, I understand the rules and where we're allowed to fly and not to fly. And then you're going to have to sign on to Gaggle, sign up for Gaggle if you don't have it, join the Fly It for Gaige group, and you have to fly with your Gaggle on. Just for the simple fact is if someone says, hey, this is you, you can now prove that it was you or was not you, and it saves us a lot of trouble of having to figure out who is doing what. A couple of bad apples, and I don't mean the Georgia guys, a couple of people have caused a little bit of a riff with the county, not with the county, with the homeowner. So I think if we do it this way, we can actually prove who flew where and who didn't fly where. And I think it would make it much easier to determine the bad apples of the group and get rid of them. In the chat question, would you guys have a problem going to a fly-in, having to use Gaggle? You can use, it's a free app. You don't have to pay for it. But I think personally, if you plan to do nothing wrong, I don't see why it would be a problem. I wouldn't have any problem using it. I already use it now.
The problem you're going to run into is that you have to be a paid subscriber, and you have to be the person to add every single person. You have to invite each person. They can't just join a group.
Well, I am a paid subscriber for the whole year.
And then, so I don't know how many people you can have on the same group, but you would have to invite each person. So, I mean, instead of using Gaggle, I record every flight, but I use Garmin. So, I mean, I don't have any, there's no problem, showing exactly my route, my track, and I can show the altitude, the whole works.
Right. Well, Shane's Planet Shane says flying that requires cell phones. Who doesn't fly with their cell phone?
I fly with my cell phone.
I've never left the ground without my cell phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to make this as fair as possible. Try to keep anybody from being told that they were flying in a spot that they weren't. I don't really want to go into too many details about it, but I will just say that there was a select few people that ripped up Sunday morning that absolutely just.
Look what Greg said.
Yeah, it better be a cordless.
Greg flies with his landline. I mean, it's something else to have to manage if you have to do all the adding. I think just so long as that if asked, they can prove. And if they can't prove it, then that's the same as not doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is, but I need to be able to present a almost foolproof, if not foolproof, um, idea to the board or whatever if I need to go that far. So I don't know. I'm I'm willing to take advice and ideas. Um, you know, uh, Daddy Dutch, Kaylee is doing fine. She went yesterday to the trauma surgeon and they removed her staples and everything is looking pretty good. So my daughter will survive. Hey, hey, which is a good thing. Anyways, okay. So um, we did have a pilot's briefing. Um, actually, once or twice. We had it twice a day. One at 10 o'clock in the morning, the other at like 4, trying to keep people from flying to the front of the park, which it did or didn't work sometimes. But um, yeah, it was just an awesome event. I was so thankful. The comment about the air conditioner earlier. So there was a lack, or there was a miscommunication, I should say, between the county park employees and the flying group. We had full access to air conditioning at the Mosaic building up front. So when you were pulling in, we could have had a registration. You walk inside in the air conditioner where my wife would have been sitting nice and happy. And we didn't know that. We thought they were talking about the patio part of outside around the outside of the building on the backside. So we were like, why would we go up there and sit on the outside? Now you have to walk all the way around the building to get to the patio out back. And the very last day, like Saturday, I don't know, it was probably 4:30, and one of the county guys is like, "Oh yeah, you guys had a full access to the air conditioner." What what is Daddy Dutch talking about? And Krista just looked at me. I was like, I didn't know anything about nothing. Oh, but yeah, I feel so bad for my wife. I mean, poor girl. She hung in there like a trooper though, every single day. Oh man. But the county employees, I will just say, and not their positions, but we had Dottie, who did very well at her job, Paul, who did extremely well at his job. We had Will. Actually, Saturday night, Will and his family sat and had some pulled pork and baked beans at the campground or at our campsite. And we had Ben, who busted his butt, absolutely busted his butt to make this happen, make it work. And I, I thank all the county employees who went above and beyond. I still am writing right now. I've already got 2 emails done on each individual employee because I don't want to just put them all in a group. I want to specify um, things that I enjoyed about what they did and how they helped. So it has taken me a little bit of time to get it done, but it's going to get done. But anyways, for all the county employees, I greatly appreciate you. You guys made this event even better with being so friendly, so helpful, and putting up with a bunch of idiots like myself. What, Will? How much time did you get in the air at the fly-in? How many flights you get in?
I think I just got one flight in, then I had a busted exhaust. So,
Which I did not find out about until Saturday afternoon.
yeah, I was not that bummed out about that. I was disappointed right there when I wanted to fly, but I mean, other than that, that's not a big deal.
Shane Wyman wants to know about the memorial flight. Well, they did it Saturday morning. I actually had planned to go, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because I felt I had to be there to do things. I felt super guilty, um, leaving my wife doing her part, and I'm out flying. And I thought it was unprofessional of me to leave the fly-in. So I did not go. They did do it, I think 6 of them went over to Wauchula and came back, but I couldn't do it. I did fly Sunday morning. I flew right at about an hour, 24 miles or something like that, which was an epic flight. We had a good time. Came back, landed, and just watched 4 guys rip up the neighborhood that they shouldn't be flying over. It was awesome. Not that I could do anything from the ground or the air, but yeah, it was pretty. It ruined a perfectly good flight. That's for sure. Mark, how was your flight Sunday?
My flight Sunday was fantastic. We had a good time on that one. And myself and the next Batman, we went on that memorial flight and went over to Wauchula, and that was a nice flight as well. I didn't land there. I just flew around Wauchula Airport a little bit, and then we took off out of there and flew basically back.
So I did not know you did that flight.
Yeah.
You might have told me, but I was running around my head. And let me tell you about this guy who shows up with his amazing wife after lying to me, saying, "Sorry, we couldn't make it." The double DPs. Let me tell you about this guy. I'm running around with my head cut off, and then look over there, bright and shiny, standing in the sun, is the redhead guy, all DP with his wife. And I was like, "You guys weren't even supposed to be here." Am I thankful he was there? Yes. Was I glad? Yes. Did I hug his wife longer than I hugged him? You bet. That's what
Who
you
didn't?
get. That's what he gets. Ha. Oh man. Let's see.
The winds were doing a funky thing there when I don't remember what day it was, but we were contemplating flying, and the winds just were a little bit too rowdy. But then right there at the very end, we could have gotten a good solid half an hour flight. So the next day, it was basically the same exact thing, same setup, but we were ready for it then. Everything just died down, and man, it was just awesome.
Yeah, I think every day, every morning, every afternoon, there was a chance to fly. And for Dave Wolf, I was at the park, which was less than 10 or 15-minute drive from Wauchula. I was at the county park. You could have just let a brother know. I'd have came over and flew with you guys, but whatever. You do that Ohio snooty thing, I guess. I don't know. Don't tell nobody you're around. It's fine. No big deal. Some guy. Anyways, so the event, I didn't know it took this much effort. I really didn't. And my wife and I both figured out one thing and one thing mainly that we're not good at, and that's delegating. We did not delegate jobs very well. I don't know why, but my wife felt she had to sit there all day long, and I felt like I had to go and do everything when I had plenty of people that were willing to help. So I don't know. It's something I learned. I've never been in this position before, and it was very tiring. Good Lord.
No doubt.
Mark, did I give you enough work or no? Like, what do you think I could do better, other than delegate more?
Just try and have stuff planned in advance, and in that planning, basically delegate. Who's doing what or who's responsible for what.
Yeah.
If you try and handle it all yourself, it is too much.
It was definitely too much, but I will tell you this much. Next year, I don't think I'll have any problem with saying, "Hey, you've got an hour at the registration, then so-and-so will take an hour, blah, 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 throughout the day." I don't think 1 hour to volunteer sitting at the registration would be too much trouble for anybody, especially if they're sitting in the shade. I mean, in the air conditioning.
Yeah. And definitely learned a lot in, just ways to do things differently. That's all.
And I would say for the first time ever doing a fly-in to only have one person call in on you or complain, that's pretty doggone good. I don't know. I mean, if you really look at the big picture, I think we did pretty good. But yeah, um, what is the next flying coming up?
That's what I want to know because I mean I mailed my check for Purdon's today, but I know that Moonshiners is a week or two before that. But I don't know of anything else, and I mean that's not for a couple months.
Yeah, that's in August. Um, I actually was planning on going to Moonshiners, and then I realized. So I'm leaving for Ohio August 24th, and I will be up there until after the Dave Purdon's fly-in. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, Dave Purdon's this year you have to mail in a money order or a check to them to pay for your pilot's fees and or shirts. Um, I actually have to get Krista to set me up with. I don't even know if I have an envelope. Do you guys carry envelopes anymore?
Envelopes?
Yeah, to mail something.
We
Uh,
do.
yeah, I think I got some in the back room there, the junkyard.
Man, I have no idea if we have envelopes or not. I just thought about that just now.
Batman, answer in the chat if you can. Did we meet? Still trying to figure out who you are.
I know I did, and he lives he doesn't live but maybe 40 minutes from me. By the way, and I just found out right before the show. He told me who he was on YouTube, and I was like, I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yes, I guess I'll need to mail in a check. I know why they're doing it. It's because, PayPal's got to report every little thing now. It's freaking ridiculous.
Well, that's what Zelle doesn't take any processing fees or anything. If you send $5, it gives you $5.
Yeah,
So
but I think up to $600 limit yearly, then it's reported.
I'll let him report it. I'll send it all to. I'll show him the new bank account I got. That's going to be an LLC at the end of sometime. Anyways, next Batman says no. Will you guys did not meet?
Well, good. I don't feel bad then.
He said he wanted to meet the coolest people on the show. So he met you, right, Mark?
I gave him $5 to hang out with me. But we did take a couple flights together, so that was cool.
Yeah, that Sunday morning flight, I didn't realize it was him that was flying with us. But yeah, after we landed and we talked about it, he's like, "Yeah, I was flying with you guys this morning." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's who that was." But Mark and I just took off going our own direction, and next thing you know, there was a third guy, and man,
I had already talked to him before you got there.
how many deer did you see on that flight, that Sunday morning flight?
Yeah, there was a ton there, and actually the flight you didn't take, the Gaige Memorial flight, on
Right.
the way back from that one, I saw one pile of about 13 deer together in one little pile. But I saw so many deer, hogs, alligators. Guess that's
Horses.
about it. But I saw a lot of them.
Hey, Will, if I send you that screenshot that I took for of me flying over that one gator, can you share it?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
The next fly-in is the North Carolina Foothills Wingfest Paramotor Ultralight Fly-In
Oh, jeez.
in Lenore, North Carolina.
When is that?
That's this weekend.
Okay, I'm not going.
I'm not
No.
going to make that one either, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do. I do like Moonshiner's area flying. Like the area is great to fly, but it's just I can't take a week and a half off for Dave Purdon's, and or before that take a week off and then go up to what is it, like a week and a half later I'm taking off to go to Purdon's. Yeah, I can't do it. It's too much time off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
DP, it's the last show. You didn't want to come on and be a co-host, lied about stuff and said you couldn't make it. And so we've decided to just end the show because of DP. Everyone blame DP. But yes, truthfully, it is the last show. We will we might have shows after a fly-in or something, but for the most part, it's DUN done.
I think it's DUNN. Isn't it?
Not if you're me. No, I have a friend of mine that spelled it. It says that all the time, so I just picked it up. But yes, I know exactly how it's spelled. But DUN is always going to work for me because it's hilarious to me. So, anybody that went to the flying that met somebody at the flying that they were waiting to meet. I know Tony and Angela. They met Ripa, me, Mark, Will, North Carolina PPG. I'm sorry, North Carolina Paramotor NC. Why the heck? Um, who else did they meet? They had a whole bunch of people they met from the flying.
Jerry was there.
Oh yeah, Jerry Fly. Holy crap! Andrew Fuller, Rachel, and Jeff from North Carolina were there. I really like those two. I think those two are really awesome as a couple and as just good people. Um, yeah, Greg Laney says, speaking of wildlife, the crew by Ripa was having a good time Friday night. And that's another thing. If I have the option to do this again next year at the park, I believe I'm going to be out back. As much as I like having power and I like having water and I like having all the options, um, I don't know. I kind of felt I missed some stuff. So if you guys can see on the screen here, this is my one of my flights, and I screenshot this from a video. And there's about a 10 to 12 foot gator that I'm roughly about 10 foot above. So yeah, if you want to water foot drag that, have at it. That's your competition right there. If you don't make it out of the water,
It'll be a footless drag.
yeah, right.
Cool.
Oh, did you
There's
guys?
one other thing I was gonna uh, quickly share if I still have it up. Yeah, I do.
Oh, sorry, I got you. I took it off.
You took it off?
I'm taking it off. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, so now I got to get to it. There it is. So, anyways, this is the North Carolina Foothills Wingfest Paramotor Ultralight Fly-In. If you're interested in that, North Carolina, you need something to do this weekend, this would be the thing to hit up. Otherwise, the next big one's going to be, I guess, Moonshiners, right? August 1st. So that's like the whole month of July without a fly-in. Hopefully you guys can handle it.
I think I can. I think I will be still tired by the time Moonshiner comes around. I cannot believe how exhausted I am. I truly cannot. That was just exhausting. Oh man. Oh, here is the folks that Angela and Tony met. Nick, Keith, Nicholas, which is the other Nick, Keith and Kat, Smart Car, Brian, Rachel, his wife, Dave Carroll, who is one of the winners of um, the e-bike, one of the e-bikes, DPs, Ripman Riding, Gorilla, Paramotor NC, Violet, which is Smart Car Brian's daughter and Rachel's daughter, Sandy. Who's Sandy?
Gaskins?
Oh, geez, thank you. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I just call her Gaskins because, well, anyways, Will, Mark, and Shane. You could have left Shane out of that, and that would have been fine. He didn't need to be mentioned. No one else mentions him. Oh, somebody said something about an after show. There will not be an after show. I'm gonna after shower, and then I'm going back to bed. Man, I cannot. Just ridiculous. So, Mark, is there an area of the flight or the flying that you like to fly? My favorite is that dike just over the west end of the LZ. You go over the power lines. Um, you take that dike all the way around. It's about a 45-minute flight. It comes right back to the power lines, so that's pretty awesome for me.
Yeah, that's awesome to fly down in the ditch and to fly on top of the dike. Um, I got a real good video that I'm gonna put out on YouTube about flying that area whenever I get around to it. Um, and then my favorite area might have been flying over to where those four massive cranes were working.
Yes,
Um, just the way that there's all those like hills with water around them, little tiny valleys, and then the cranes themselves. That was some cool flying over there as well.
I want to go and see one of those cranes in person. These cranes are gigantic. They're an entire building worth of crane at the base. They're huge. Um, did it not look like it was just sitting on a disc and turning on top of the disc? Like it doesn't have tracks or wheels. It just looked like they put a big disc down, drop this crane on top of it, and that's where it stays. Like it doesn't move anywhere. So I'm curious to how they move those. It's a gigantic crane. It is crazy.
Yeah, when you fly when you fly close to it, it kind of looks like a building. Like the main body of the crane is the size of a small building.
Yeah, it's like a Wawa sized building, like but a crane, and it's on a just gigantic disc, and it just turns. I know they enjoyed. I seen three of the four um, operators. I think one of them wasn't working or didn't have somebody in it. But anyways, all three of them were waving at us and just having a good old time. They enjoyed watching us fly by. But yeah, they're huge. If you go to PBG Gorilla's videos, he always flies by that crane with the buzzards on it. It's just like that, but I mean they're just gigantic. They're huge. I enjoyed that. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So next Batman said it's like flying on another planet because of all the way that they leave the ground and then the water that fills in the area. It is. It's weird. It's like little islands, and I said to myself, I was like, man, if I went out right here, I'm done because it's an island, and you can't just throw your paramotor over to the other island and then jump across. It's not going to work. I'm like, you're screwed.
yeah. I think you'd be screwed, but you wouldn't be dead.
No, you're going to be sitting there waiting for somebody to bring a ladder to set to the other island, to walk across that ladder, pick it up, bring it to the next. Oh, it's going to be leapfrogging islands. It would just be horrific. Oh, next Batman says so. And I think I agree with you, next Batman. They're actually bigger cranes than the ones that, or the one that's over there by PPG Gorilla by Wachula. I have to agree with you. I've flown that one, and yeah, I'm thinking. Uh, I think they are much bigger.
I'm kind of sorry I didn't get a chance to explore those because that would be kind of cool. That'd make some good video too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty awesome.
did you see
I was actually,
Deweese's
yeah.
comment? Go ahead.
Nope.
There
Here
you go.
Oh yeah, the next Batman says you could just have the crane operator pick you up. That's if you're within range.
Yeah, if you're in range, that's exactly right.
If you're not, you're kind of waiting on that ladder to go from island to island. Oh, that would suck. Oh,
Walter wants to know why you're leaving us.
um, because Walter, you always know what's going on tomorrow, so there's no need for us to tell you yesterday. Walter's in Australia, for those who don't know. Walter, I just don't have enough time to do my own videos and everything else, the show prep and blah blah blah. Not that there's much prep, but I don't like. It's just it's restrictive, and I don't. Tuesday nights are. It's just I don't want to do it. How about that? I enjoy doing the show. I just don't enjoy doing it every week. Mark hates it. Absolutely hates it.
Walter, I don't know if you meant to time out scuba, but I think you did.
What happened?
Walter accidentally timed scuba out. So
Walter. Last show and you're going to be messing up. Tony and Angela said we need to come out to Vegas. One of these days, why don't y'all have a fly-in out there and we'll maybe
they do. It's called Flying Circus.
yeah, I'm out. Never mind. That
Yeah.
just seems too much for me.
It's only for the strong, man.
Anyways, well, I mean, I don't know what else can we say about the flying. I mean, it was outside of just one particular person, it went really, really well. I mean, there was a ton of money raised for the scholarships and for next year. If for some reason we are not able to do it back at Hardy Lakes, which has not been a confirmed, it can't happen. But I was thinking about maybe doing it at Hodges Field, getting something thrown together there. Maybe 6 months before or after Bad Apples, something like that, if whatever time frame is, because Hodges Field isn't just for paramotor pilots; it's RC planes and everything else. So it just have to be a scheduling thing at that point, if it's done there. Or, I mean, if I'm getting liability insurance, I can do it at Wauchula Airport. So maybe.
Yeah, and if it's going to be in the real early spring, it'd probably be better to do it back in Florida.
Yeah, just because of it gets cold everywhere else. Here,
Yeah.
you're still going to the beach in December and January. I'm just saying.
Yeah, James says Hodges is up for sale. So there you go, man. Slap a deposit down and make it yours.
That'd be a long drive to work for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk or say about the flying? I think the. Oh, if anybody's got any. James said Hodges Field is up for sale. If y'all all weren't tracking,
He never listens to me, does he, Mark?
I listen to you, Will. I don't know
Thank
what
you,
Shane's doing.
what I miss?
That was the very last sentence that left my mouth.
Well, listen, I'm unable to do two things at once. If I was reading, I'm going to assure you I missed.
I think you were staring me in the eye. Pretty sure.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think you were reading. I think you were looking right at me. And I'll have to go back and watch the video.
Shane is ponying up some dough for the Hodges Field purchase.
I heard it was somewhere between 800,000 to $1 million for the property.
That wouldn't be bad if it was up here.
Up where?
Yeah, up by where I live, where I could still keep my job. You'd have to retire to do that.
Oh,
Plus, heck, I owned 10 acres and sold it because I got tired of cutting the grass.
so how long? How long did Walter time out Steve?
300 seconds or something. It said.
Yeah, so DP said he kick in a fiver. That's short for 500,000.
No, that's
Well,
short for $5.
Yeah,
yeah,
$5.
I know. My joke was I get to DP 500,000.
Okay, so I got to figure out um how do you freaking un we did this before and Steve helped me with it. See, I told you $5.
Yeah, I knew.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. The joke that I was making against DP, I know he meant $5, but I was saying that's short for $500,000.
Ah, he's got the money. That dude is loaded. Hey, Walter.
Scuba's back.
Yeah, Scuba's back. Walter's in trouble.
Scuba better tread lightly. Walter will kick him out again.
Oh man, I can't believe you did that, Walter. Give you one little blue wrench and you're just screwing things up. What? How long have I known y'all? Since while we were on Sean Simon's show. Linda wants to know how long we've known. It's got to be at least 3 years. At least 3 years.
She's asking how long has she known you all?
Yeah, it's got to be because I was on Sean Simon's show and then she got on. So 2.5, 3 years, Linda. Best 2.5, 3 years of your life. I understand. I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's about how long that I've known Miss Linda is about 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Me too, I think.
Hey, Deweese with my daughter spent a couple of nights in the trauma ICU, and yeah, that you can have all that surgery and all of the problems with that crap. I'm just glad my daughter's home and she's with us.
Yeah, she's lucky to be alive.
Let's go, drunk drivers. Woo woo. My daughter wasn't drunk. She was dead asleep in the passenger seat, and some stuff happened, and drunk driver caused a huge accident. And yeah, so good lord. But anyways, Linda says she misses my dork jokes.
Yep, she's gonna miss it.
I think. All right, I think she meant dad jokes.
I don't know.
I don't know jokes.
Typically spelled D. Oh, I don't know how you get DAD out of that. The A key is nowhere near the O key.
You don't know. She might not have her glasses on.
It's still, man, it's like the opposite side of the keyboard. I don't know.
Hey, I just want to let DP know I don't think I made any one-legged joke references one time when you guys were there. Just so you know.
Welcome back, Scuba. I called him at Scuba because I'm typing.
Yeah. Here you go, Will. This is your boy. This is your boy right here.
My doctor told me, this is from Lip Paramotor, just so everyone knows who's listening. Will, my doctor told me I had the peekaboo virus. He sent me straight to the ICU. I get it, ICU, peekaboo.
Oh, crap. Oh my God, I had a joke today and I can't remember what it is. I've been trying to ponder it because I can't remember it now. It's killing me. Oh, it was a good one too. What kind of bus does a ginger ride? Or why can't gingers ride what kind of, God dang it. See, I'm out. Never mind. I can't remember it. It's killing me because it's freaking hilarious.
Okay, so if April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
Viruses. Oh, that was the May.
Pilgrims.
Yeah, pilgrims. Oh,
May
I almost had that one.
Okay.
It's fine. I just didn't want Shane leaving when I couldn't talk. Everybody wants to leave when Shane can't. I can talk. So that's pretty. That's the first. Actually, Scuba, I'm gonna jump on your show on Friday nights, um, a little bit more too, not as a online thing or online, not in person. Unless you need some comic relief, and then I'll be there. What do you call a dog that can do magic? A labracadabra doodle. A labracadabra door. Oh, that one hurt my brain.
What does a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common?
I don't know.
They're both parasites. Parasites.
I hadn't heard the word in too long. Oh man, what do you call a dead dog? Nothing. It doesn't, or it doesn't matter. It won't come to you
It won't come to you anyways.
Oh, good lord. Rim shot. Oh man. Maybe we should just we should just jump on here every now and then and just make dumb jokes, just dad jokes all day long. Uh,
Yeah, that'll bring them in.
so what do you call a guy with no arms, no legs on your wall?
Not Matt.
Art.
Yeah, Art.
What do you call a guy with no arms, no legs in your pool?
Bob.
Bob. What do you call a guy with no arms, no legs in at your door?
Matt.
What do you call a dog with no legs?
It doesn't matter. It won't come. He doesn't have any legs.
Exactly. That's the other one. Good lord. All right, guys, we are over our 1 hour minute. Mark, what are you about to say?
Nothing. I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, you got to read this one because it's directed at you.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just reading that. Oh, yeah, that's so true.
It is true. He sent me that the other day, and I'm like, yep. Mm-hmm.
Man, I came home from the fly-in, and apparently my 24-year-old daughter feels like it's better if she slept in our bed. And, of course, she slept on my side of the bed and moved everything on my nightstand. And this is the point where I realized that I might have a little bit of that, like, OCD thing, because I like things left alone, like where I left it. And nothing was where I left it. And I did not do good with that. I was like, why? Why are you unplugging things? Why are you moving this here? Like, this isn't your spot. You can leave my side of the bed alone. Your mom's side over there is a gigantic chaos over there. Enjoy that. She wouldn't even know if you mess things up. Oh, anyways. All right, Will, for the last time, until the next time, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube, search for Will Fly, or online at willflyppg.com. And I want to say, since this is the last episode, fly safe, stay humble, have fun, but most importantly, run from negativity.
I think we've done pretty good with that, for the most part. Mr. Mark McElroy, where can we find you, sir, other than not in the butler's pantry because you're not allowed in there?
On YouTube, Paralife PPG. For sure I'll be at Dave Purdon's. I might be at Moonshiners, because if it's at the very beginning of August, that's 4 weeks or whatever, 3.5 weeks before Purdon's. And I'm going to probably be jonesing by then to get out of here, so maybe I'll go there.
There's a good chance I might shack up with Mark after he pays all the gas for the camper. If he does that, it's going to make me mad because then I'll have to go. Golly. Anyways, I can't guarantee it. Anyways, I'm Never Trust Skinny Chef Shane. You guys can find me here or on TikTok at ppgshane.com. I greatly appreciate all the support. And I did enjoy doing the show. and we will still do it. It just won't be as often. Won't even be scheduled. It'll just pop up. And so if you want to be on the show or part of the show later, make sure you hit the little, I don't even know how to say this because I never asked. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification. How's it work?
Yeah. And we're also going to be Monday nights, 8 p.m. Don't forget about that.
There you go. And don't forget about scuba on Friday nights.
Yep.
You can learn to vape while flying. That's where I learned my vaping and flying skills.
And Thursday night, paragliding talk.
Oh, crap. Yes. All right, guys. For the last time. Oh, I almost missed the outro again. I still never got it. All right, guys. For the last time for weekly shows. Peace out.
Good night.
I got a lot to say, can't hold it in this time, got no filter.